Hi, and welcome back to It's a Miracle Beauty. My name is Brandy, and I am a beauty YouTuber who does pan challenges and things that are about utilizing what you have versus buying more as a general thing. I do buy new makeup at times. I'm not on 100% no buy. However, I do try to concentrate both my content, but also my life towards using what I have versus consuming more. I have been pan challenging again. I have in the past, again, since the beginning of this year, and I have found that I'm actually using up more makeup in my current system than I ever have in the history of me having this much makeup, which we're going on like close to 6 years at this point. So that being said, for heads up, this is the same intro you'll see in all 3 of my pan challenges this month. I do this every month. I do have autoimmune and other issues that make it difficult for me to film a huge amount of videos. So anyway, I can create shortcuts for myself. I do that. Once you see this once and you understand what it's about, or if you already are used to mine and you want to skip to the content, I totally understand. If you are new here though, I do not pan challenge in the sense that everything in a pan challenge is meant to be used up completely and finished. A lot of my stuff is, like I call it, use the damn stuff. I want to utilize more and more in my collection versus just using what's in front of me. So if I pick, in this case, I think I have 53 items in my challenge this month, and every month pretty much. I have 53 items. I easily could only use those items and never touch the rest of my collection at any point if I only utilize those. So I have some rules for myself. I set a number of times I'm to use it every month. That is the minimum. There is no maximum. If I'm loving a product and I want to use it 31 days or 30 days or whatever, I absolutely can. The only rule is that minimum. The other thing is that I typically don't rotate into new makeup or non-pan makeup 7 days a week. Sundays are always my free day. And then once I get through the month and I've hit most of my minimum uses, I can use pretty much whatever I want. But a lot of times I end up using my pan challenge with other makeup. I don't ever just give up completely on my on the makeup I'm panning. The last thing I'll say is I'm thinking about, and I haven't confirmed it yet, but I think in the month of August, which is my birthday month, I'm going to set aside my pan products, but I'm not going to pick any minimum number or minimum number 1 because it's my birthday month. I kind of want to just have fun in my collection and use whatever I want to use, however I want to use it. So that's what I'm thinking right now. This is my end of May, beginning of June update on my pan challenges. So I have about another 60 days to figure that out. So I probably will. Last thing before I get started is you may see me get even more shiny. Now, I personally love looking like a glazed donut because I have dry skin, but it is very hot in my house. I was hoping to film about 2 hours ago before the heat picked up. I film in my walk-in closet and there is no real ventilation in here. So we technically have air conditioning with central air, but it doesn't reach these 2 rooms, my bathroom, ensuite, and my closet very much. I typically have a fan running all summer long, even though we have the air on. So creating more and more electrical use. The other thing is we're actually trying not to turn on the air yet. Unless this gets unbearable and humid, we're trying to use ceiling fans, standing fans, etc. until we get there. We recently replaced our air conditioner, so it should be a lot more economical, both energy usage and pricing, but I just would like to wait as long as I can. So that all being said, if you like what you see, I hope that you'll like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, or actually it's ring the bell for notifications. I don't upload on the same time on the same day every week or every month, so you can miss videos if you are not subscribed with the bell on. That all being said, let's get started on my end of May, beginning of June update on my pan challenges. Okay, so this is the first video. I have 3 pan challenges in case you've never been here before. I have a 23 and 23. I have a 10 rolling. Well, they're all rolling technically, but I have a 10. And then I have a 20, which used to be full face. I've never renamed, so we're just still calling it that. Sometimes it does work out to be pretty much a full face. Other months it doesn't. So this particular video is my 23 and 23. So this time I actually made a cheat sheet so I wouldn't break it as I went through my items, because one of the things I have almost every single month I do is I go through and then I'm like, oh wait, I messed that up. Oh wait, I messed that up. Oh wait, I messed that up. Last month was the worst. I drew the line. I made a cheat sheet. The first thing on my 22 and 23 is my Fenty bronzer. This is an Indus Sun and this is the powder bronzer. This one, it has not moved very far recently. I'm noticing it's kind of stagnated. The Fenty Beauty logo is slowly getting off more, but it's really not moving that much. But again, a lot of mine have 5, 6, 7, 10 uses. It's not going to go crazy. My point is using it up and using it. This is not my oldest bronzer by any means, any means. However, it is an older one and it's one I enjoy using. So I make a point in my pan challenges to put things in that actually are enjoyable to me, because if I grab things that are not enjoyable consistently, I will just stop panning. This is what happened to me every time I pan before now. By setting the system up this way, it's definitely helped me. Previously too, just throw this in there, I used to be like, oh, that's high end, I don't want to pan that. Oh, that's expensive, I don't want to pan that. Now I'm doing it the opposite. I do have drugstore in my pans, but I don't keep them in very long. I'm rolling through my expensive products more. That being said, this is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo, and this is in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. This had a pretty significant amount of use before I even started this in the challenge, and I believe this has been in since January or pretty close to it, so you can see some pretty big dips. I really enjoy this, and I would have no problem keeping this in the entire year. Next is the Fenty Balm in Fussy. If you're wondering why it's not silver, I've spoken about this previously too, but this went through the washer. It pulled all the silver paint off on it. I own a couple of these. This is probably my favorite shade from Fenty's not Fussy Balms. Gloss Balm. It's called Fussy. I actually have an exact dupe of this in my car. I keep it there pretty consistently. In summer months, I'll move it to my purse, but in winter, it does fine. So this one is, again, going to be kept. I forgot to mark this one, but it is around halfway or just below halfway. I did a lot of marking this month because there was significant progress in some of the stuff. So next is the Kosas Concealer, and this is one that had significant progress. So if you look, it's been laying down, so the black line is actually where it's at. But you can see significant holes and gaps in there. So I left it sitting up for almost 4 or 5 days. I think it was 5 days, and that's where it's at. I mean, I think that that's pretty amazing considering that I just bought this in December of 22, and I have not had more than like 7 to 10 uses in any given month. So it goes to show you, if I use it consistently, this probably wouldn't last very long. I mean, it's the same size as other ones. It's not that it's smaller, it's just the fact that long-term regular use does use up the product. You don't have to use it up all that month. Like, you can space it out, and I think that's why this project has been successful for me. So that one's staying in. Next is the Pure Bronzer. This is one that is grossly expired. I mean, it's not performing differently. It doesn't smell, none of that, but it's a 6-month shelf life, and I think this is probably at least 3 years old, maybe a little bit less, but I doubt it. It still has the chocolate scent and everything else. So just to bring you in a little bit, the rings are in there, and it is getting a little bit deeper. So I keep saying like, oh, this is going to be the month. Well, I've given up trying to pinpoint it. I'm just leaving it in until I hit pan. Once I hit pan, I probably will toss it and just keep moving. I have my list over here. That's what I keep looking at. So next is the Cover FX palette. And it does look like this. This was in BoxyCharm many, many years ago. I am only panning the 2 middle shades. And as you can see, I have hit pan in the highlight shade. I do like that for the inner corner. It's usually really cute. I just realized I forgot to even put an inner corner on, but that's okay. My make's a little bit milder today than I normally do. And then this top powder, and I've mentioned this before, this is a really pretty like finishing powder. It's very soft and almost feels like there's moisture in it. I would buy that in a compact if they sold it. It's a really good powder and it works really well. So for right now, I am leaving that in. Oops. Next is the CoverGirl True Blend Concealer. I actually adored this while I was using it. It works really well. There is no dent whatsoever in this for my use. I think I've had it in for 2 months, maybe 3, but I think it's 2. I am pulling it out because it's drugstore. I actually still enjoy it. Probably will still pull it out and use it at times, but this one I like better than the L'Oreal. I actually used the L'Oreal Infallible today and it worked fine. It wasn't bad, but this one I enjoy a lot more. So in the future, I probably will repurchase this as long as it's available versus having 5 or 6 drugstore. But this one is coming out, and in its place, I am putting the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer by Mario. I have a pretty huge dip in this, but this is a cream product. In fact, does it say on here? It says 12 months. So I've had this about 5, almost 6 months at this point. No, about 6 months. So I'm actually going to put this in and continue and see if I can hit pan. It's obviously a product that's still sold. If I use it all, I can just buy another one. I don't need to hoard my cream products. So the next thing is the Hourglass Single Shadow, and this is in Vivid. This is like a green, almost like a hunter green, or it's not a bright green, but it's also not like a pea green or anything either. It's like a deeper, almost like a forest green. I think that's too dark, but you get what I'm trying to say. Grass green, maybe. This one I am pulling out, and in its place, I'm actually going to put my Luminous Silk Perfect Glow Flawless Foundation. I wear the shade 3.75. This is the mini. For me and what I have, the mini serves me perfectly because I'm not using it every day and I'm not going to finish a large one. So even though per ounce you pay more for this than you would for the bigger one, this made sense to me. So I am moving that one in. Next is the Huda Glowish. And I did get it to there. It does pop back up, so you have to like move it back down to see where it's at. But I did get it to that point, and I'm ready to take a break from this. I don't know if I'll ever move it back in or not, but it's a pain to work with in some ways, or it doesn't react in a bad way with like foundations. What I notice is, I guess in the way that you'd think like separation or something like that, but this can make some foundations not last as long during the day for me. And I do work. Right now I'm in training at my new job, so I'm actually probably about an hour from my house with traffic, not actually miles, just because of the amount of cars that go that direction. And so I'm not at my house. I can't like run home on my lunch like at my old job where I could like wash my face off, and it's new like coworkers and stuff. So I don't want to look like crap at, there. So this one I am pulling out. In its place, I am going to roll in my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. And if you look, I am over halfway done with this. Again, it's been laying on its side, but I actually pulled the stopper on this not that long ago because the stopper was like malformed basically. So it would not let, and it's going to be messy when I pull it out. Look, see, because the stopper's out, but it wouldn't let the thing go in all the way. Hold on a second, guys. Need to fix that. So it wouldn't let the stopper actually go in, so I couldn't even get to like what was left in other than the very center. So if it moved, I couldn't get it. So this is pretty messy, so I might end up decanting this into something else. I haven't decided yet, but I want to use it because it's expensive and because I have it down there and it's a mess. So we're gonna move that to a priority type product. Next is the Jaclyn Hill highlighter palette. This is the one that was released. I put my powder on it and I get my powder off of it, so the front of it is like demolished. Which I don't have to now because I finished the powder that I had to do that with. I actually finished a powder. If you watch my empties later this month, you'll see it. I had to get like the bottom of it out and I had to dump it to do it. But this is the kind of now famous or infamous, or however you want to look at it, palette that came out when she was having problems with quality. This does not have those problems, but at that point in time, this is one of the best highlighter palettes I've ever used. I think it's actually fantastic. I've used these a ton and there's almost no use shown on them, so I'm going to keep that in. Next is the Charlotte Tilbury Youth Glow. I did get this in a mystery box. I think it was like 2021 I got it, but I could be wrong. That's how much we've moved down. This is one that I do enjoy using. I didn't think I would, to be quite honest. This was in my drawer and I never even put it on because when I put it in the back of my hand, I kept going, ew, I don't know if I like that. This is very smoothing. It is not a silicone primer, but it is very smoothing. Definitely smooths it out, and it does give you like this undercurrent of glow. It's like this, I hate using the lip from within, but it's true, it does. It just gives you this like you have healthy skin look. So that's definitely staying in. I like that and I've been enjoying it. So the next one is the Essence 24-hour powder, or no, sorry, 16-hour powder. It looks like this. I actually have a pretty decent dent in this, so hopefully I can get it to pick up on camera. This one is one that it's a love-hate relationship because when it works well, it works well. But when it messes up, you have to wash your whole face. So this is one, it's an Essence powder. It was like $4 to $6. I'm moving it out because I don't need to worry about using something that is that cheap. In its place, I am moving another cheap item, but it is brand new. This is the NYX liner, Epic Wear liner, and this is in Deepest Brown. I've been doing a lot less color on the bottom. I've been doing either white or cream or like bronze, and then this black or brown in my waterline or my lash line. And so this is one I think I can utilize really well. Next is the Good Apple foundation. I have been enjoying this so much. I've probably used this foundation more than any other single foundation in my entire thing. My pan is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I am honestly so impressed with how this wears. So initially, because I have super dry skin, this can look a little dry. I typically use a more glowy setting spray to help bring it like back to life. But about 2 hours in, this looks stunning. And I don't have like oils that come through. It's just as I naturally perspire or my face settles or whatever. But I go to work, I have to leave at 7, I start at 8, and by about 9 or 10, my makeup looks even better when I'm wearing this. So this is definitely staying in. I've been enjoying it immensely. Next is the Marshmallow NYX Primer. I talked about this one. So originally we were at this one at the beginning of the month, and now we are all the way up there. So if you look, it's like a considerable amount of use for what I use them for. So we are well within like a third or a fourth of the pump left, and that is gonna stay in. Next is the Dominique Cosmetics Cream Blush, and I did figure something out about this month. I talked about previously, I moved it in because it looked like it was drying out, and then I used it and it stayed like wet or moist the whole month. It was creamy and easy to work with, and I really enjoyed it. And then I pulled it out because I finished this earlier in the month. I pulled it out, and you look, not where I swirled right there, but around it, it gets very dry. So what I think is this is naturally a drier formula that you just kind of have to like rework as you use it. I am going to keep it in. I'm still enjoying it. I'm going to keep using it. So we're going to see how far we can get that down. And I am moving fast because these are kind of big, and it's 150 degrees in here, so bear with me, guys. Next is the Jouer Bronzer Duo, which, where is it? Oh, it's right here. I'm gonna have to fix that. So this is the Jouer Bronzer Duo. This is from years ago. They still sell these actively, but this is one that I have no affinity for, but it works well. Like I don't think in my head, oh my god, I need to use that, but on the same hand, it works really well. It does its job. It has a cooler tone, not a cool tone, but cooler than the other, and so it does allow you to do almost like a light contouring. So it works well. It's fine. No love or hate for that. And that is going to stay in. When I moved in, I want to think in the middle of March, so it's been in a little over, you know, a month, maybe 6 weeks, is the Kaleidos Escape Pod. I own this and never even used it. Kept going, oh, it's neons. Oh, it's neons. Oh, it's neons. But if you look, there are neons, but there's other colors as well. I've been thoroughly enjoying. There are shimmers or glitters or however you want to, because to me, anything that's shiny, I call a shimmer. And then people are like, that's not a shimmer. I hear you. A metallic, a shimmer, a glitter, whatever you want to call it. My point is those reflective shades are absolutely unbeatable to a lot of what I have in my collection. I own most of Pat McGrath's, if not, well, I think almost all. She just had a new collection come out. So I've really been enjoying that. The mattes work fantastic. It's just a really good palette. I do not believe it is available any longer, but if you're able to find it, I do think it's a great palette. Next is the Makeup Forever Reboot. In case you are new here, I have Makeup Forever Reboot in the bottle. I put it in a compact to make it easier to use, and honestly, just make it, I can put my brush right in this. So we actually are down to there. I mean, that is a really low range. I mean, way less than a quarter. So this has a decent amount in it right now. I don't know if I'll have to add any more this month. I know last month I did not. I restocked this in the end of March. So, no, the end of March? No, it was in April. So mid to late April, I restocked and poured more foundation at the bottom behind the sponge. And so I don't know that I'll have to add any this month, but I'm going to keep using it until it's gone. It is technically expired, but that's another foundation that I have just re-fallen in love with. It just always works well and always looks wonderful. Next is the 24/7 liner in Deep End. I don't do the paper measurements. I just, you know, it's getting shorter. That's how I know it's there. This is an absolutely like stunning shimmery teal blue. I use this a lot with purple colors, and so I am going to keep this in. I've been enjoying it and I think it works fantastic. Next is the KVD Good Apple Concealer. This is one that I didn't think I liked when I first bought it, but I had the foundation, I wanted the concealer, like that whole mind game. And then I've been loving this. This is such a smoothing, like just really fun, like kind to older eyes in my opinion. Now mind you, I use a lot under my eye to prep. I use it under eye prep product, either Smashbox or Revolution, whatever, but I also use an eye cream in the morning, and sometimes I'll add a little bit of oil to my concealer or eye cream to my concealer to make it smoother. So when I say it's friendly to older eyes, I have to, you know, there's a caveat. I do a lot of prep for my eyes. I am 44, I'll be 45 this summer, but keeping that in, I absolutely love it. And then Rare Beauty, I have the illuminating primer. It does look like this. This is, I believe, the travel size, if I'm not mistaken. And we've got the air pump just a little above. A little bit goes a very long way with that, so I haven't used a ton of that. Next is the Fenty Lip Mask, and it does look like this. I hate this product. It is killing me to use this up, but I am going to leave it in for another month because it is something I use either in the morning when I get up or before I go to bed. So it's not like it's messing with my makeup. It's not like it's doing it. It's just me being willing to utilize the product. So I'm going to keep that in. And then next is this is actually number 23, but if you saw my video last month, I messed everything up and things just got discombobulated. So there is one more product I'm going to talk about because everything got messed up, but this is the Rare Beauty. This one I couldn't quite figure out where it's at, but it does look like it's like somewhere around here. And so there is definitely some use. I did enjoy this. I used it quite a bit this month and going to keep that in. The one that got missed and kind of discombobulated is the Farsali Skin Tune. This was missing, I think, in my video, or I found it later. I can't remember how it worked, but it got missed. This is gone. This is completely finished. Finito, there's nothing left, and so I'm super excited that this very expensive primer got used start to finish. So that is the last thing of my 23 and 23. Next, you'll see that same intro, and I'll actually be talking about my 10, rolling 10 is what I call it, and they all roll, so it was kind of no forethought put into that one, but it is what it is at this point. So if you like this video, I hope you'll like, share, subscribe, make sure you ring that bell for notifications, and I hope I see you again soon. Thanks, guys.